going to be talking about the new and improved Revlon PhotoReady Airbrush Effect Foundation. This came out not too long ago. This is like a reformulation of an already existing foundation, I believe. It also has SPF 20 in it, all that kind of fun stuff. So I also filmed me applying this foundation today, so we're going to check that out, and then we will get into talking about all about this little foundation here. I'm going to start out by priming my skin. I feel like a primer is definitely necessary to help not only prolong the wear of this foundation, but definitely to help aid in a smoother blending and application of this foundation as well. To apply this foundation, I am going to be using a brush. This is my Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. I do definitely prefer applying this foundation with a brush over a beauty blender or the Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. Something along those lines. I feel like the application is just too heavy and it doesn't blend as well. So I'm going to just first spray my brush with some Fix Plus. And then I'm going to just pump some of this on the back of my hand. And then I'm just going to start blending this in. And as you can see, it's kind of yellow. And I'm just buffing this out in circular motions. I find, too, that this foundation really needs to be buffed into the skin rather than just kind of stippled over top, like with a sponge or something like that. So like I said, I am really working this into the skin with my brush. And you can definitely see that it is kind of patchy. Like around my mouth, it is kind of patchy. So then I'm going to pump a little bit more onto the back of my hand, about a half pump, and then just go over any areas that need a little extra coverage. So really the center of my face and any acne spots, I guess, or scars or anything like that. And if you are going to build this up more than one layer, really focus on working it and blending it into the skin. Another thing I find applying this with a beauty blender is that it sets very quickly. So if you just kind of plonk it all over your face and are wanting to go back and blend it out later, you really have a hard time blending it out because it's kind of already started to set after you've just put it on your face. So that is how I like to apply this foundation. I definitely think it looks nice. The color match is not the best because this is very, very yellow for my skin tone, and I do have yellow or golden undertones. I'm starting to feel like I'm more neutral undertones, so I can wear a lot of different shades of foundation and feel like they look fine or they look really good. However, this is quite yellow and I have not brought it down my neck, so you can see the difference, and this is the lightest shade in this foundation as well. I'm going to finish my face and I will be right back. So let's start the rundown of this foundation. This comes in 12 different shades, and the deepest tone of this foundation is not very dark, and it's quite golden looking. I am on Revlon's website, by the way. So if you have pink undertones and you're very dark complected, or if you even have gold undertones and are of a very dark complexion, you probably will not find a shade that matches you in this foundation. It says on Revlon's website that the lightest shade is ivory. However, start rant, every display that I have seen this on, the shades start at vanilla. I don't know if it's because I'm just looking on the new product displays and not looking at the regular shelf, but in most of the drugstores like CVS, Rite Aid, Walgreens, even Target and Walmart, this has not been worked into the regular product display. At least around me it hasn't. I've just seen this on like the plastic 2-tier stand with the big picture behind it showing this to be a new product. And all of those that I have looked at start with vanilla. Like vanilla is on the far side and is the first color slot on that display. If you have a lighter shade, why would you not start the display to include your lighter shade? I don't know if I just read it wrong or what, but I had no inclination that vanilla was not the lightest shade and that there was an ivory shade. I'm not saying that I have not been able to make this work and make it look good, and it's not that bad of a color match, but it's very yellow for me, as you saw in the application. Like, you could see how yellow in tone this color was. So if there's the lighter one, I don't know if I just missed it, but it was not on the display, and it was not labeled to be on the display either, which is aggravating. So now I want to read you what Revlon's description is for this foundation. It says, revolutionary formula with light filtering technology delivers a poreless, airbrushed look. Soft focus pigments create a luminous finish, and your skin has never looked so flawless. Okay, here's the thing. If you are arm's length away from somebody, like, you know, normal talking distance, your skin looks beautiful and awesome and really does look, you know, airbrushed and poreless and flawless and all of that. I really like how this foundation looks from about arm's length away. Like, if I'm just standing in front of my bathroom mirror, this looks beautiful. But when I was at my mother's Super Bowl party, I was standing right next to her because there were a lot of people and it was kind of loud, and I said, what do you think of this foundation? This is new from Revlon, so it's really inexpensive, well, sort of, compared to other foundations that I like. And she said, when you first got here, it looked really nice, and I thought your skin looked really nice, and it looked really kind of perfect, but up close, I can kind of see a whole bunch of glitter on your face, Alyssa. And I was like, yeah, I know. What is it? Light filtering technology and luminous finish is completely due to all of the glitter that's in here. The light filtering technology, it's glitter. I'm fairly certain there is a whole bunch of glitter in this foundation. Like, can you see, can you really even tell with my camera? Like, you can kind of see that it's really shiny. That is all glitter. If you do not want to look like a disco ball, shake this for about a good minute. I mean, because it's so glittery. Like I said, from far away, or about arm's length away, it will look very nice, and it is great for filming and photography. I have noticed it looks very beautiful in photography and on film. Obviously, I like to film with this on. But other than that, like up close, if you're standing really close to somebody, or if you look up close in a mirror, it looks heavy, it looks not so flawless, you're definitely not poreless, and you look kind of like you've ran into a pixie. Other things that I look at when I'm trying out a foundation that I want to review here on YouTube are, you know, like the things that are important to most people. What's the best way to apply it? How does it sit on the skin? What kind of finish does it have? Is it buildable? What kind of coverage can I get out of this? All of that stuff. I mean, those are important things to me when I'm wearing foundation. And I feel like they're important to most people when they're wearing foundation. Coverage-wise on this, you're probably going to want to stick to the light to medium coverage range on this. Revlon says that this is a medium to full coverage foundation. I don't agree with that at all. When you saw me applying this with the brush, it gave me very light coverage. It didn't cover up any of my acne scars or any existing acne or blemishes on my face. it really just kind of evened out some of the redness and gave a more even look overall. And then I did build this up to medium coverage through the center of my face. That's about as far as I would recommend going with this. Full coverage, or trying to build this up to full coverage, it starts to look heavy and it starts to look cakey. Best application method for this foundation is going to be a brush, in my opinion. I think these really just buff it into the skin and work it into the skin much better than a beauty blender does. A beauty blender just gives you too much coverage too quickly, in my opinion, and it starts to look very heavy, very fast. The brushes that I like to use this with are the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush, which is a very densely packed synthetic bristle brush. It really works it into the skin and buffs it into the skin. If I'm using a brush to apply foundation, I normally use this one anyway. Or I'll use this one. This is the Real Techniques Buffing Brush. I really love this brush to apply all of my foundations, just like I do this one. This really buffs it into the skin as well and really works it into the skin. Like I said, using a beauty blender, I think for this foundation just gives too much coverage too fast, and it looks very heavy and very cakey very quickly. The finish of this is kind of hard to pinpoint for me because it does have all of that glitter in it. I would say the foundation itself is a matte finish. Or a demi-matte finish, something along those lines. But because you have all of that glitter and kind of luminosity coming from that glitter, you're going to get more of a dewy look from it, in my opinion. So the foundation sets down quite matte, demi-matte, but because you have all of that glitter, again, it's going to be more of a dewy looking finish. I feel like this foundation doesn't sit very well on my skin either, especially around my nose. It just seems to break down on my nose instantly. It just doesn't want to sit there. And then around my nose as well, it kind of tends to want to break down and rub off, whether I touch my face or not. But other than that, it seems to hold up pretty decently everywhere else on my face. This is not a long-wearing foundation. If you're wanting something drugstore that's long-wearing, I would suggest the CoverGirl 3-in-1 foundation. This is not long-wearing in the slightest. It's very obvious. I've worn this for about 10 hours, and when I got home, I was like, holy crap, what happened to my face? I normally don't have foundations break down on me or wear off on me at all. I do have normal to dry skin, so I don't have a problem of oils breaking down foundation, but this breaks down at about the 4 to 6 hour mark, I would say. I've said everything I have to say, and now would I recommend you to purchase this product? Yes and no is my answer, because if you're going into a situation where you need to look really good in photography or on film, or something like that, I would say, yes, purchase this. This is great for filming and photography. That is what this foundation is designed for. That's why it's got all the glitter and pigment like that in it, so it reflects light and makes your skin look flawless. But for everyday wear, I would say, heck no. It gets too heavy, it doesn't last very long, and for me, I go about 8 to 10 hours with my makeup on. Every day I wear makeup. So I need something that's going to last and not break down on me. So yes, if you're going to be filming or being photographed a lot, no for everyday wear. And that does it for this review of the Revlon PhotoReady Foundation, the new and improved formula. I hope you guys found this helpful, and I hope I didn't sound too negative or anything like this, because I do like this, but I don't like it. It's a love-hate relationship with this foundation. It really is. But I hope my insight was helpful and made you guys a little more informed about purchasing this foundation if you were thinking about it, and all of that jazz. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.